Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On August 9, 2012, Wildrose submitted a FOIP request to HS for the expenses of former health executives. These should have been returned within a few months, but instead, AHS took at least 6 separate extensions. 6 months later, they were only partially released. Meanwhile, political staff in the minister's office had full access to the records. The minister himself was briefed. He knew not only the contents of the FOIP, but also who was requesting the records. 2 full months before the records were made public. To the Minister of Health, were your political staff at all involved in requesting or ensuring the numerous extensions and releasing this information?
Mr. Speaker, under FOIP section 14(1), it says the head of a public body, meaning the minister or his designate, extend the time for responding to requests for up to 30 days with the Commissioner's permission. For a list of extenuating circumstances, like the applicant doesn't give enough detail, there isn't enough time, it's a complex issue. Mr. Speaker, these requests were granted with the permission of the Commissioner. I don't see what the issue is here.
First supplemental.
Minister, there's an issue. Given that records show that on at least 3 different occasions, our FOIP requests identified the applicant either as an opposition party, an elected official, or a political source, and given that at least on one of these occasions information was unnecessarily withheld by someone within Alberta Health, how can the minister expect anyone to believe that his office has not politicized the Freedom of Information process?
Mr. Speaker, the FOIP Act is very clear. FOIP requests cannot be politicized. Ministers have the responsibility to fulfill the request for FOIP. They have the personal responsibility as the minister, Mr. Speaker, or they can delegate and designate to someone else. The requests have been fulfilled. There's no other issue here, Mr. Speaker.
Supplemental.
All right, let's try this one. Given that for the last 3 years, we have requested and have received the HS capital submission outlining their infrastructure needs and, more important, the risk of non-approving these projects. Yet when we made the exact same request this year, for the first time ever, the risks of the non-approval messaging was completely removed. To the Minister of Accountability, do ministers routinely withhold information for no other reason than being embarrassed by your government?
Mr. Speaker, as I said, Alberta has an excellent record of responding to FOIP requests. Of the 4,200 FOIP requests in the last fiscal year, 90% of those requests were responded to within 30 days. 96% were responded to within 60 days. We're conducting a review of the Act to make it even better, and that work is ongoing, Mr. Speaker.